Hello everyone. Welcome to the series of multiple choice questions that has been provided by AKTU for the convenience of students. So these questions are from unit 1, that is PN junction diode. Let us see their solution with the explanation. The first question is, for which type of material the number of free electron concentration is equal to the number of donor atoms? So if the word donor atoms has come into the question, then we have to recall that in which type of semiconductor donor impurities were added. So donor impurities means that donates an electron, and those are pentavalent impurities. The semiconductors in which pentavalent impurities are added and the resultant semiconductor that is formed, it is called as N-type semiconductor. So the answer for this question is N-type semiconductor. Option C. Next question. In diffusion, the particles flow from a region of dash concentration to region of dash concentration. See, what is diffusion? Diffusion is the process in which the particles move from a region of higher concentration to lower concentration. And this process takes place due to the difference in the concentration. Because when we join P and N type semiconductor on one side like this, when you have joined P and N type semiconductor, so on one side holes are in majority and on one side electrons are in majority. So in order to maintain this concentration difference, the particles will move from the region of high concentration to lower concentration. That means holes will travel from P to N and electrons will travel from N side to the P side. Okay, so the answer is high and low. That is option A. Next question. If the positive terminal of the battery is connected to the anode of the diode, then it is known as. So first of all, you must remember that in a diode, we have P and N type semiconductors. So the P side is called as the anode. This concept should be clear. And the N side is called cathode. So the question is saying that if anode is connected to the positive terminal of the battery, and then it is forward biased, and obviously the negative terminal will be connected to the cathode, so it will be forward biased. So the correct option is A. Next question. During reverse bias, a small current develops known as. So you should remember that during reverse bias, a very small leakage current flows in a PN diode, and this leakage current is also called reverse saturation current. So the correct option is C. Next question. Which of the factors change the diode current? In order to understand this, first of all, you must write down the equation of diode current, which is given by reverse saturation current IS multiplied by E, that is exponential, raised to the power V, this is the applied voltage, upon eta Vt minus 1. So ID is the diode current for which you are writing the equation. This is the reverse saturation current. Okay. V is the applied voltage. Eta is a constant. Vt is thermal equivalent of temperature, which is dependent upon temperature given by Kt by Q, and else is constant. So if you see the equation carefully, you will understand that according to the question, the first option is temperature. Yes, Vt depends upon temperature. So ID will also depend upon temperature. So ID is dependent upon temperature. Second option, external voltage applied to the diode. This is also a correct option because you can see that ID depends upon V, that is the applied voltage. So B option is also correct. C, that is Boltzmann constant, that is also correct because Vt is dependent upon K and K is nothing but the Boltzmann constant. Alright, so that means current depends upon the Boltzmann constant also. But D option, that is resistance, is nowhere in the equation. So the correct options are A, B and C. All three of them are the correct options. So these three are the correct options. Next question. The voltage equivalent of temperature, that is Vt. Vt is, first of all, you should remember it, that Vt is the voltage equivalent of temperature. The same Vt that I have mentioned in the previous question. And the voltage equivalent in diode current equation is equivalent to, so it is given by Kt by Q. K is the Boltzmann constant. The value of K is 1.38 into 10 raised to the power minus 23. Q is the coulombs, the charge, that is 1.6 into 10 raised to the power minus 19 coulomb. So when you will put these two values in this equation, you will get the answer as T divided by 11,600. So Vt is T divided by 11,600. Okay, so this is the correct option, D. Next question. The cutoff voltage for diode of silicon semiconductor and germanium semiconductor is, so the cutoff voltage for silicon is 0.7 volt and for germanium it is 0.3 volt. I hope that you all remember, but if you don't remember then kindly learn it, that the cut-in voltage for the silicon and the germanium diodes are 0.7 and 0.3 volt respectively. So the correct option is B. Next question. For an ideal diode, which of the following is true? For an ideal diode, first of all, recall the concept of an ideal diode. This is a diode. If it is ideal, for the ideal case, if diode is ideal, so in the case of forward bias, this diode will act as a short circuit. That means the current through this diode will be maximum. If it is reverse biased, it will act as an open circuit because the current through the diode will be zero. So let us read down the options. It allows the passage of current in the forward bias with zero potential drop across the diode. Yes, it is correct that it allows the current to flow when it is forward biased with zero potential drop. So it is the ideal case, so the potential drop will be zero here. If it would have been practical case, then during forward bias the potential drop would have been 0.7 volt if the diode would have been of silicon. Second option, it does not allow the flow of current in reverse bias. That is also correct because in reverse bias we assume that the current is zero. It works as an open circuit in reverse bias. That is correct. Same thing. B and C options are the same thing. It works as short circuit in the reverse bias. No, that is not correct. It acts as short circuit in the forward bias. So A, B and C, these are the correct options. Okay. So let us see. Yes, A, B and C are the correct options. Next question. For the given circuit, find the output waveform. So this is the circuit and the options given to you are these. This is option A, this is B, this is C and this is D. So let us solve this question. I am redrawing the diagram over here. This is a diode, a resistance of 2.2 kilo ohm in series with it, and a DC battery of 5 volt has been placed. Here Vi has been given, for which the input waveform is shown, and the output has to be calculated across this. The input waveform is, it is 20 in the positive cycle and minus 5 in the negative cycle. Okay, so first of all, in order to solve such type of question, I will consider first of all the positive cycle. So during the positive cycle, the signs will be like this. Okay, so diode, the P side of the diode is getting positive and the N side is getting negative. Okay, why this negative, why not this battery has been considered here? Because this time the input waveform that has been given, that is a square waveform. If it would have been given a sinusoidal waveform, then it would have been, we would have made two cases over here. But because the input waveform is a square waveform, that means it is getting 20 volt all throughout the positive cycle. So for all during the whole positive cycle, the diode is getting plus 20 volt, the P side is getting plus 20 volt and the N side is getting plus 5. Okay, so as the potential of P is greater than the potential of N, because P is getting plus 20 and N is getting 5, therefore it is forward biased. I hope that you remember that not only P positive and N is connected to the negative terminal, then only the diode is forward, but also the main concept is that the potential of P must be greater than the potential of N. Alright, so P potential is greater than N, therefore diode is forward. Forward means assume it as a short circuit. If it is as a short circuit, then apply the KVL in this particular loop. As you can see that in this whole branch, you can take only one voltage, that is V0, because your ultimate objective is to calculate V0. So V0 minus Vi is equal to 0. This is the KVL, and hence V0 is equal to Vi for the positive cycle. Now for the negative cycle, just look at the input waveform carefully. Now for the negative cycle, diode P side, that is the P part of the diode, is getting minus 5 and N part is getting plus 5 of this battery. Okay, so now the P potential has become lesser than that of N, so diode is reverse biased. If the diode is reverse biased, it will be an open circuit. Assume it as an open circuit. Now current in this resistance of 2.2 kilo ohm will be 0, because open circuit in the open circuit anywhere in the circuit will lead to 0 current, and only we are left with a battery of plus 5 volt. So V0 is equal to plus 5 volt. Now let's draw the waveform. Let's separate first of all the positive and negative cycle. In the positive cycle, we are having answer V0 equals to Vi. So draw V0 equals to Vi, which is equal to 20 volt. Okay, and for the negative half cycle, answer is plus 5. So plus 5 will be somewhere in the positive side only. So this will be plus 5. So this is plus 5. Okay, so V0 is equal to plus 5. Now let's see the options. So the correct option is D, as you can see here, that is plus 20 for the positive and plus 5 for the negative part. So the correct option is D. I hope that you understood. If you want to clarify the concepts, I have shared the link of my videos for such type of questions of clippers in the description box. Please do refer them. Next question. The diode in a half wave rectifier has a forward resistance RF. The voltage is Vm sin omega t and the load resistance is RL. The DC current is given by. So just pay attention to what has been asked. It is an half wave rectifier and you are asked the DC current. Okay, so the DC current is given by IDC is equals to Im by pi, because it is a half wave rectifier. In half wave rectifier, VDC is Vm by pi, and voltage and current will go analogous with each other. That means if you remember that VDC is Vm by pi, then automatically IDC will be Im by pi. Okay, now as you can see in the options are given in the form of Vm. So you need to convert this Im into Vm, and current is voltage upon resistance. So Im will be given by Vm upon R. Now what is R over here? R is, now forward resistance has also been talked about of the diode, and RL we have to always consider. So it will be RF plus RL. So Vm upon RF plus RL is Im, and pi remain as it is because you are asked the DC current. So the DC current is Im by pi, and now looking to the options, express the Im in terms of Vm. That means current is voltage upon resistance, and you are given two resistances, so take the sum of both the resistances. So the correct option is Vm by RF plus RL into pi. That is option B. Next question, efficiency of a half wave rectifier is, so efficiency, the formula for efficiency we have already discussed in the videos of the lectures, that efficiency is simply output upon input power. For a rectifier always converts AC into DC. So the output will be in the form of DC. So the DC power will be IDC square RL, and the input power will be AC. For AC we take the RMS value, and it will be RL. Efficiency is always expressed in terms of percentage, so it will be multiplied by 100. Okay. Now for half wave rectifier, we should remember that IDC is Im by pi, and IRMS is Im by 2. Okay. So when you will put both these values in this formula, you will get eta F percentage, that means efficiency percentage, as 40.6%, because RL will cancel out, and when you will put the value of IDC and RMS in the above formula, Im will also get cancelled out, and you can calculate a numeric value through your calculators. So the correct option is C, that is 40.6%. Next question, if peak voltage for a half wave rectifier circuit is 5 volt and diode cut-in voltage is 0.7 volt, then peak inverse voltage on diode will be, so you are given that the peak voltage of a half wave rectifier is 5 volt. That means the input voltage that you are going to apply, like a sinusoidal signal. So sinusoidal signal is having a peak value of 5 volt. Okay. And the diode is considered here as practical. Usually in the working we consider it as an ideal case, but here it is considering it as a practical diode. And if it is a practical diode, we need to consider the potential drop across the diode also. As silicon diode is preferred more, so the drop in voltage of the silicon diode will be taken into account here, that is 0.7 volt. So the effective voltage that we will get, that will be 5 minus 0.7, that is 4.3. If it would have been an ideal diode, then the formula for the PIV for a half wave rectifier remains Vm, and the answer would have been 5 volt. But because it is considered as a practical diode, so we have to consider the drop across it, and now the effective PIV is 5 minus 0.7, that is 4.3. So the correct option is C. Next question, ripple factor of a half wave rectifier is, you need to remember the formula for the ripple factor, which is given by Vrms upon Vdc whole square minus 1. This is the formula for the ripple factor. You have to make a formula list and you have to remember all the formulas. Okay. In the previous question, I showed you the formula for efficiency. Here you must remember the formula for ripple factor. And at the same time, you must remember what is Vrms for half wave rectifier and full wave rectifier, and you must also remember what is Vdc for half wave rectifier and full wave rectifier. So Vrms for half wave rectifier is Vm upon pi, and Vm by 2, and Vdc is Vm upon pi. So when you will put both these values, Vm will get cancelled out and you will get answer as 1.21. You can verify it from your calculators. So the correct option is B. Next question. A full wave rectifier uses load resistor of 1500 ohm. So the RL that has been given to you is 1500 ohm. Assume that the diodes have RF 10 ohm. RF means forward resistance of diode. RR, that is reverse resistance, is infinite. The voltage applied to diode is 30 volt. Okay, so the voltage that has been applied to the diode is 30 volt. Frequency is 50 Hz. You are asked to calculate the AC power input. So if you are asked AC power, that means in the terms of I square R, you can write I RMS square R. And here this R will be RF plus RL. Or you can do one more thing. You can also write the formula in terms of voltage and R. So Vrms square upon R, and R is nothing but RF plus RL because both the resistances are given. Now what is Vrms for a full wave rectifier, because the question is for full wave rectifier. So the Vrms for full wave rectifier is Vm by root 2. Okay. So now, so Vm square by 2 into RF, this Vrms square, when you will put this value Vm by root 2 over here, the formula will become Vm square by 2 into RF plus RL. You can solve it through your calculators and verify that the answer will come out to be 298.01 milliwatt. And if you open this milli unit, okay, I'll again write this answer. You will get this answer. Just check it out through your calculators. If you will open this milli means 10 raised to the power minus 3. So you will get 298 watt. So in the given options, two options are correct because both are equivalent. That is 0.298 watt or 298.01 milliwatt. So both are correct options. So the answer is both C and D. Next question. Efficiency of a center tapped full wave rectifier is? See, the efficiency of full wave rectifier is common. That means if the question would have been given for bridge rectifier also, then also the answer would be same, whatever answer will be for center tapped rectifier. So it does not matter that whether it is center tapped or bridge, because both comes under the category of full wave rectifier. Again, the formula for the efficiency is output power upon input power. Output of a rectifier is in the form of DC because rectifier converts AC into DC. So DC power upon AC power. Power formula is I square R. DC power is IDC square RL upon AC power. Instead of AC, we will take our RMS value. So IRMS square RL into 100. RL will get cancelled out. We need to remember what is IDC and IRMS for full wave rectifier. We need to remember these values. It is 2Im by pi for full wave rectifier, and this is Im by root 2 for full wave rectifier. When you will put these values in the formula, you will get 81.1% or 2%. So the correct option is D. Next question. DC average current of a full wave rectifier is? So IDC is given by simply 2Im by pi for full wave rectifier. You need to remember these values. And if you will solve this 2 upon pi by putting pi as 3.14, then if you solve it through your calculators, you will get 0.636 Im. So two options are correct in the given options, D and B. So B and D both are correct options. Next question. Ripple factor of full wave rectifier is? So ripple factor, again I am writing down the formula. You have to remember this formula. Vrms upon Vdc whole square minus 1 under root of whole this part. You need to remember what is Vrms and Vdc for full wave rectifier. Vrms is Vm by root 2 for full wave and Vdc is 2Vm by 5 for full wave. When you will put these values and solve it, you will get answer as 0.48. So the correct option is C. Next question. A diode for which you can change the reverse bias and thus vary the capacitance. So this is the feature of varactor diode. The varactor means variable capacitor. So varactor is a short form for variable capacitor, and we vary the capacitance over here with the bias voltage, and this diode is always reverse biased. Okay, so the correct option is A. Next question, what is the current through the diode? You are given a circuit like this and you are asked the current through the diode in this particular circuit. So I'll draw the circuit again for your convenience. The circuit is something like this, and this is an ideal diode, it is given. So you are simply asked the current in the circuit. Okay, that will be the only current through the diode. You simply apply the KVL because the diode is forward biased, and because it is ideal, so it will act as a short circuit. Short circuit means simple wire. So just apply KVL in the direction. KVL will be 12 into 10 raised to the power 3 into I minus 12 is equal to 0. Okay, so I will be 1 milliampere because 12 upon 12 and 10 raised to the power minus 3 will give you 1 milliampere. So the correct option is A. Next question, what is the current through the Zener diode? So again a circuit has been given to you and you are asked the current in the Zener diode. So the breakdown voltage Vz is given as 6 volt and V1 is 13 volt. Okay, now you have to calculate again the current in this particular circuit. That will be only the current in this Zener diode. So for this you must remember that this Zener diode is a reverse bias diode. That means it is getting positive on this side and a negative on this side. So when you will apply the KVL in this circuit and you will come across this particular voltage, you have to take these polarities. Okay, so let me apply KVL. I will start from here. Resistance multiplied by the current plus 6 minus 13 is equal to 0. You can apply the KVL in other direction also. Okay, whatever you feel like. So I will be 13 minus 6, that is 7 divided by 10 raised to the power 3. That means 7 milliampere. So I is 7 milliampere. The option is B. Okay. Next question. With a 12 volt supply, a silicon diode and a 370 ohm resistor in series, what voltage will be dropped across the diode? So according to the question, let me draw the circuit. 12 volt supply, silicon diode, and because here in the question now it is given that it is silicon diode, that means the drop across will it be 0.7 volt. So even we need not draw this diagram, but for more clarity you can draw it. But if you have a great practice, then you need not draw this diagram even, because if it is given that the diode is made up of silicon, so the drop across it will be always 0.7 volt. So the correct option is B, 0.7 volt. Now a circuit is again given to you and you have to determine the diode current ID. That means, first of all, if you look to the circuit carefully, you can see that both the diodes are forward biased because due to the battery they both are getting positive terminal on the P side. So if silicon is written over here, that means they are not ideal. I have to consider them as practical diodes. So I will replace them with a battery of 0.7 volt, and the battery will be so placed that the positive terminal of the battery will acquire the place of P terminal, or you can say P semiconductor, and the negative part or the negative terminal of the battery will be placed in the place of N semiconductor. This is 12 volt battery, this is 5.6 kilo ohm, and the current is flowing like this here. So we have to calculate this ID in short. So let us apply the KVL. 0.7 plus 0.7 plus 5.6 into 10 raised to the power 3 into ID minus 12 is equal to 0. So ID will be equal to 12 minus 1.4 divided by 5.6 into 10 raised to the power minus 3. So the answer that you can verify it from your calculators, you can solve it. The answer you will get is 1.893 milliampere. So the correct option is B option. Okay. Next question. What describes the given circuit? So a circuit has been given to you and it is asked that this circuit belongs to which category. Options are given to you. For this, let us solve this circuit. Option D is not the answer, because if it would have been a clamper, then a capacitor would have been mandatorily present into the circuit. But as the capacitor is absent over here, so it is not a clamper. So let us see by solving that which of the following options, rest of the options is the answer. So I'll again draw the circuit. V0 is across this whole branch. Okay, and Vi, let me expand this Vi because Vi was given as positive, so I will put a battery, or you can simply say you can put anything, or don't put a battery, just let it be Vi only. Okay, let it be only Vi. Now we'll consider two cycles, positive cycle and the negative cycle. For the positive cycle, the diode will be forward biased, as you can see in the diagram also, because the diode P will get the positive part of the battery and the N semiconductor will get the negative part of the battery, or Vi. So diode will be forward, and if diode is forward, in this particular branch V0 is there, and V0 and Vi are parallel with each other, so V0 will be equal to Vi. In the negative cycle, the diode will be reverse biased, because negative cycle will be like this, and now the diode will be reverse. Reverse means V0 will be 0 this time, because V0 is the voltage across the resistance, and if there is an open circuit in the whole circuit anywhere, if the circuit is broken, then current is 0, no current in the resistance, no drop in the resistance, so V0 is 0. Now if Vi would have been something like this, and I draw for the output voltage for this is Vi, this is output voltage, then for the positive cycle V0 is equal to Vi, so it would have been same as that of Vi, and for the negative cycle this has been 0. Okay, so this is half wave rectifier also, and this is a clipper also. So both the options are correct. That means this circuit comes under the category of both half wave rectifier or a clipper, because the negative cycle has been clipped off. So the options are both B and C. Next question. With this Zener diode in its on state, so it has been already given in the question that the Zener diode is on, then what is the level of Iz for the maximum load resistance? So if as you can see in the given circuit, RL is variable. Variable means that it will range from a minimum value to a maximum value. So you are asked the value of Iz for calculating RL maximum. So let us calculate. See, I will write looking to the circuit, or whenever a Zener diode circuit comes across you, or whenever you come across a Zener diode circuit, always remember that you can solve it by writing three equations. The first equation is for IR. IR is here. IR is equal to, see for example, you are given a resistance and you have to calculate I across it. So it is simply voltage upon R, and voltage, if one side voltage is VA and other side voltage is VB, then the voltage in this R is VA minus VB. So I is VA minus VB upon R. By applying the same thing, IR is VI minus VZ upon R, as you can see in the diagram also. This is the first equation. Second equation is for IR. I will apply nodal analysis, because IR on coming over here will get divided into two currents, that is IZ and IL. Okay, this is the second equation. The third equation is for IL. IL is simply VL upon RL, and as VL is in parallel with VZ, so VL is nothing but equal to VZ. Okay. Now if RL is variable and you are asked about RL maximum, then if in this particular formula, that means third equation, pay attention, I am considering this third equation. If I will put RL as RL maximum here, then as RL is in denominator, IL will be minimum, because when RL will go maximum, IL will go minimum, looking to the formula clearly. Okay. So IL minimum, now move on to this equation because the question is about IZ, not IL. Okay. So now as you can see in the first equation, IR will remain constant because VI is constant, VZ is constant, R is constant. So IR will remain fixed. But if IR will remain fixed, IL is going minimum in the second equation. So how should the IZ adjust in order to maintain this IR fixed? IZ should go maximum. Then only this equation will remain constant. Alright. IR will remain fixed. So for calculating RL maximum, we need only IZ maximum. Okay. So the correct option is D, that is IZ maximum. I hope that you understand this. If you want to clarify your concepts further, I will repeat again. I have shared the videos of Zener diode in the description box. Do refer them. You will feel very confident. Next question. You have an application for a diode to be used in a tuning circuit. Always remember, wherever the word tuning comes, that is the case of varactor diode. In the previous questions also, in one of the previous questions, we saw that varactor means variable capacitor. That means here you are going to change the capacitance by the reverse bias applied to the diode. So basically it is used in the tuning applications when you want to tune from one particular channel to another. So varactor diodes are used over there. So the correct option is D, that is varactor diode. Next question, LEDs are made out of, so the material for making LEDs has been asked here. The most popular material is gallium arsenide, but gallium phosphide is also used for making LEDs. So both the options are correct, gallium arsenide and gallium phosphide. Next question, determine the peak for both the half cycles of the output waveform. So for this you have to solve the circuit. And for this I'll draw the circuit again. So this is the circuit, some R has been given, and V0 is across this whole branch. Okay, consider the diode to be ideal because it's not written silicon or germanium anything over the diode. Okay, Vi has been given to you. I'll draw the Vi here, and I will leave the space for V0 to draw. 16 volts are the peak value for both positive and negative cycles. Okay, now I'll solve this circuit by first of all considering the positive cycle. Positive cycle, for positive cycle we will put the signs like this, and we'll put our pen on the diode. We'll look the P side of the diode, P semiconductor. P is getting negative, N is getting positive. So as both are getting opposite signs, the diode is clearly reverse biased. At once we can take this decision. Okay, diode is reverse biased. If it is reversed, then it is an open circuit, and a battery within open circuit is also an open circuit. That means this whole branch gets disappeared. Okay, now imagine that there is no branch like this over here in this circuit. So when you will apply KVL, see, the parallel rule will also not follow here. The parallel rule will also not follow here because there is a resistance in between. So if you will apply KVL, you will get V0 is equal to Vi plus IR. But due to an open circuit that is existing in the circuit, open connection, I is 0. So therefore V0 will be equal to Vi. because IR will be 0. Okay, so V naught is surely equal to Vi, but this is not the concept of parallel rule, because they are not in parallel, because a resistance is present in between. Okay, next, so V naught is Vi for the positive cycle. So let me draw for the positive cycle by separating the positive and the negative cycles. Also, I should draw the battery. Battery is of negative sign because the negative terminal is upwards. So battery, I will draw first of all a battery in the input cycle itself, that is of -4 volt. It is a DC battery, so I have drawn a constant line. For the positive cycle, V naught is Vi, so I will draw V naught same as that of Vi. Okay, so the first peak is 16 volt only. Okay, now solve it for negative cycle. Now put the signs of negative cycle like this. Put your pen on the P side of the diode. It is getting negative of this battery, that is -4 volt, and N is getting minus of Vi. So if both are getting same sign, then you have to make two cases, case 1, case 2. Case 1 will be always P greater than N, case 2 will be always P less than N. P greater than N means diode is forward, and P less than N means diode is reverse biased. Okay, now if the diode is forward, it is short circuit. That means the V naught across this branch will be only a battery of -4 volt. So V naught is -4, and if it is reverse, then V naught will be equal to Vi by the same concept as I have told you in the previous question. Okay, now we also have to, in order to draw the waveform, we also have to put the values of P and N. P is getting -4, N is getting -Vi. Okay, and by maths inequality part, we can write it like this. Okay, and similarly P in the second case is -4 less than -Vi, which I can write 4 magnitude greater than Vi. Okay, so now as in the negative cycle, I am having two answers. I will draw two portions. Wherever the battery cuts the negative cycle, from there I will draw two portions. The cap portion is the one, only see the magnitude. The cap portion, that means this middle portion, is the one where Vi is greater than 4. So Vi, this part, that means this part, Vi greater than 4, in that particular portion V naught is -4 volt. It is a fixed value, so we will draw a straight line, -4 volt. And for the remaining portion, V naught is Vi. So as there is Vi in the above part, in the same way you will draw the Vi here also. So the positive peak, as you can see in the answer, is for 16 volt, and the negative peak is at -4 volt. So the correct option is A, that is 16 volt and -4 volt. Okay, so this is the correct option. Next question, determine V2. You are given the circuit and you have to determine V2. I am redrawing the circuit by expanding the batteries. As you can see, the batteries are given like this, so I'll redraw the circuit. Silicon, that means 0.7 volt, because silicon diode is forward biased. As you can see, the P part is getting 10 volt and N part is getting +5 volt. That means P potential is greater than N potential, and therefore the diode is forward. If the batteries would have been reversed, then the diode would have been reverse biased, because P would have been getting 5 and N would have been getting 10. So in that particular case, the potential of P becomes less than the potential of N. That means diode is reverse. But only V2 is across this resistance. Remember, in the question, look carefully, V2 is only across this resistance. So if you calculate the current in this resistance and multiply it with the resistance, you will be getting V2. Current is only one, same current is flowing in the whole circuit. So I will calculate the current by applying KVL. 4.7 10 raised to the power 3 into I plus 0.7 plus 2.2 into 10 raised to the power 3 into I plus 5 minus 10 is equal to 0. When you will solve this equation, you will get I as 1.371 volt. Sorry, you will get I as something else, and when you will multiply this I with R2, that means 2.2 kilo ohm, you will get 1.371 volts. So that is the correct option. Okay, so D is 1.37 volts. You can simply verify it by calculating it through your calculators. Just keep in mind that you put the units carefully. Don't leave kilo as it is. Just open the whole value. That means instead of 4.7 kilo ohm, never put it as 4.7 only. Otherwise your answers will surely get wrong. Next question. Which of the following atoms may be used as p-type majority? In the p-type, holes are in majority, and holes are in majority because trivalent impurity is added. So simply you have to find out from the given options the trivalent impurities. Trivalent means having 3 valence electrons, means group 3 elements. So group 3 elements are boron, aluminium. Arsenic and phosphorus are group 5 elements. So the correct option is both B and D, that is boron and aluminium. Next question. Avalanche breakdown in a semiconductor diode occurs if. So first of all, you should recall that breakdown always occurs in the reverse bias, and it occurs when the reverse voltage exceeds a certain value. Then only the breakdown occurs and the current rises rapidly. So the correct option is B, because there is nothing to do with forward bias or forward current. So the correct option is reverse bias exceeds a certain value. So the correct option is B. So these were the questions that were provided by the university and which are very important for us to solve and get them prepared. So I have made a video on these MCQs. I'll further make on the other units also. So I have also given the link of the videos for clarifying your concepts in the description box. Do refer them, like the video and subscribe the channel, and share it with the learners as much as you can. Thank you all.